Hey, welcome to On the Path podcast with Cheryl Nembhard. Since I was a kid, I was told my conversations were way too deep. Well, now it's paying off. Join me and the names you know as we go deep into their personal stories of triumph, tragedy, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Friends, this crazy, overwhelming life we live calls for some serious encouragement and inspiration. So grab a cup of coffee and get your notebook because we're going into the classroom of life. So let's get lifted with faith-filled conversations. I'll see you on the path.
Watch in Canada on Yes TV and the Yes TV app, or watch on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Pioneer Network, Faith TV, and more in the US. Also watch and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On the Path. Hey, it's Christmas time. Are you getting excited like I am? I am in the Christmas spirit, and you are about to get another dose of Christmas joy. I am so honored, privileged, and humble to have this incredible man of God. I feel like part of the family, kind of by extension. I've had the privilege of hanging out with his brother Jonathan, his sister Priscilla, and now we have the incredible Anthony Evans with us. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest today. Anthony Evans is a #1 Billboard charting gospel artist. He's a producer, actor, touring performer, and entrepreneur. His worship has been heard. His voice is beautiful, and it impacts thousands upon thousands of lives. As the founder of Sherman James Production, Anthony has recorded multiple albums, including Revive, which was released earlier this year, and his latest Christmas album. We're going to talk about The Greatest Gift. He's a dynamic performer. He's graced Hollywood Bowl as one of my favorite characters, the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. I might ask him a question about that. And you may have also seen him on The Voice, tearing it up with Teen Christina. And he's also the author, just so many gifts, the author of a memoir called Unexpected Places, Thoughts on God, Faith, and Finding Your Voice. Would you give a huge Canadian welcome to Anthony Evans?
Hey, how are you, Cheryl? Good to be here with you.
Anthony, I'm so excited to have you with us. Welcome, welcome. And you're giving me traditional, beautiful signature Anthony Evans. I love it.
Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yes, it's the beginning for sure.
I love it. Well, listen, I think one of the best ways to introduce you maybe to people that are getting to know you, have heard your voice, never really heard the man behind the voice. Mm-hmm. I always think that there's a story behind the artistry that we see.
Right.
I would love to ask it to you in this way. What is the story of Anthony behind the worship?
The story of Anthony behind the worship is somebody who is thrives off of authenticity, vulnerability, and transparency. Like that to me is what gives life in my relationships and what I want to do in my worship to give life to the audience. I don't think God needs my help in the area of trying to like dress things up. I think he needs me to be honest about what he's been to me, what he means to me, how I'm trying to walk with him every day, and then he'll do the rest. So that's kind of the story of how I'm built currently. The story behind the singer in me is it happened later in life. I was not a singer. I was just singing around the house, and my parents were like, did we miss something with this one? Because I look like an athlete. They were just thinking he'll be an athlete. So they were like, we need to help foster that just in case that's what he's supposed to be doing. Because I was quiet and didn't really care about singing. I would just do it sometimes. And they were like, no, I don't think that's a just do it kind of thing. So that's how that happened. And then that coupled with my desire to just do my best and then let God do the rest. That's kind of been my modus operandi when it comes to the worship and all I do, actually.
Oh, I love that, Anthony. And I love that piece. It's so beautiful how that's the picture. Parents should be able to kind of see, call out the gift, mm-hmm. help to hone it. And that's what happened for you. But I got a beautiful one because I feel like your life, literally your entire life could be about 2 or 3 movies, right? With what's happened. So if your life was a movie, Anthony, and you had to create a title, what would the title of your life be?
It would maybe be Unexpected Places, like what the name of that book. Because I feel like where I am is unexpected. But a lot of the things that have happened in my life, good and bad, have been unexpected. and it's how are you going to handle yourself in those unexpected places, or what are you going to do when how are you going to retrofit your life and your foundation when it's not raining, so that when it rains you stand tall, or when you know what I mean, like that kind of energy would be,
Mm.
I think that's what it would be, honestly.
I love that. Anthony Evans, Unexpected Places. I love that. Well, I'm so excited to talk about the Christmas album. Congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
Christmas gift.
Thank you.
Your voice, period, but your voice in my home singing Christmas. I'm going to be doing a lot of baking and singing along with you.
Yeah.
I have a 3-part question
Okay.
here. What was the heart behind the album? Why the name? And what do you hope people would get out of the album as they're playing it, as they're listening, sharing it with friends?
Yeah, the heart behind the album was just to help people create, to be a tool by which people can continue to create beautiful memories around the holidays, around family, around what the season's really about, which is celebrating the birth of our Savior, which is the greatest gift we've ever been given. So that was I have so many fun, amazing Christmas memories from my house growing up with my parents, and a lot of it was built around music, and the memories of the cooking and the smells of Christmas. And actually, a lot of my memories of Christmas aren't built around presents. It's built around family, loving each other,
Mm,
appreciating our Savior and what He did, and that to me is the greatest gift that we could be given. So that's why it's called the greatest gift, because I wanted to remind all of us that at the end of the day, you're not going to remember some bracelet or some T-shirt. You're going to remember making the most of it with the loved ones God's placed in your life, and we've been
mm.
given that gift, and that's the greatest one.
Yes, yes, sir. And I know I track with a lot of your family. You are surrounded by some serious cooks, okay? Like
Yeah, exactly.
people that can throw down. I
Mhm.
wonder around this time, what is one of Anthony's favorite Christmas dishes?
My favorite is probably my mother's string beans. That sounds so random, but no,
I
not when
love it.
she's from South America, so a lot of the flavors and stuff are very different that we grew up with. We grew up with like pepper pot and peas and rice and very island culture stuff.
Ooh, I'm
So
from
that
Barbados, so let's go.
oh, got you. So yes, that kind of those are some of my favorite dishes. People would it'd be so unexpected unless you know that I'm from South America.
I love that. And did anybody get the recipe? Like,
Oh yeah,
is anyone cooking close to mom? Who's that?
all of us are. I have that recipe because that was my
Ooh.
favorite thing. My sisters have a lot of the other recipes. They actually have actually have aprons that they wear during the holidays that say she's still cooking, meaning our mom, and they have like, and it says Lois's legacy on it. And my sisters put it on, and the house smells and sounds like my mom is there cooking.
Oh, you got me with that.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
not. You got me with that one. Yeah. And in so many ways, your mother, who was just an incredible matriarch of faith,
yeah.
I mean, yes, your family, but we share her a little bit too.
Hmm.
Um, how has your mother's legacy lived on in you, Anthony?
The way that I honor her and process grief in a healthy way is by doing anything I can to honor her. So I think about her numerous times a day and think about what she would want when I'm in certain scenarios as related to our family. What would our mom want? Okay, I'm going to do that. What would my mom want me to tell my dad right now? Okay, I'm going to do that. What would my mom like? That's how I honor her, is by making sure that things that she worked so hard for continue in the way that she would want them. So that's a huge way, and I allow myself to feel the feelings of grief in losing her, and then once I feel those feelings, it turns into me wanting to honor her even more. Like once I get through the sadness and the anger, it lands at joy, and I have a joy
Mm.
in honoring my mom. But without go ahead.
No, no, I just wanted to repeat what you said. You said I work through the sadness and the anger and all the feelings, and it lands at joy. Can you
Yes.
unpack that just a little bit for me?
Yeah, I think a human being, the natural place, the natural reset. It's almost like when you're stretched and pulled, it's like a rubber band. Like its natural place is that size, and it can be stretched in a bunch of different directions. But when let go, when that stress is off of it, it returns to a specific thing. And I think when we deal with our emotions, we return to a place of joy, especially when the Lord is where He needs to be in our lives. We will return to a place of the joy. Like He's like the joy of the Lord to me. He uses that as a definition of something that He brings, and I believe that the undealt with emotions undealt with trauma, undealt with all that stuff, it can steal from you a position that you're just supposed to be in naturally. And you can't go around the way to the other side of the valley isn't around it, it's through it. So a lot of us don't go through what we need to go through to get to the other side. And now I'm a firm believer on, Anthony, you got to go through it. It's not going to be fun for a minute, but you'll return to joy.
I'm just going to call the choir to come right now at this time as we gather the offering and sing Nearer My God to Thee in the key of E.
So
Listen,
funny.
you are preaching up a storm. I knew you would. I knew you would. And you know what? Because you are such a minister, and we are going to talk about the album, but we're here.
Yeah, no, love it.
I wonder for those that have stumbled in, listening, streaming, however they've landed here, and they're dealing with grief during the Christmas season. It's bringing it up. Just a word of maybe encouragement, advice, hope for them.
Yeah, my encouragement to you is to, grief comes in different ways, different feelings, but just to allow yourself to feel. For example, there are moments where I will go look at a sunset because my mom loves sunsets so much, and have a picture of her and look at the sunset and allow whatever comes. If it's laughs because of great memories or tears, allow yourself to feel that. And also know that God has promised in some kind of way that seems impossible at some points to work all things together for our good. And as trite as that sounds, it's not trite when you need him to work some mess together for your good. So I would encourage you to believe that he's going to do what he says, even when you don't feel like it. When your circumstances tell you that God's not being faithful, I want you to remember the fact that those circumstances don't determine whether his word is true or not. And that is an exercise to get yourself into that place. And when you do, and you start walking in the direction of the truth, even if you don't feel like it, I promise you, your feelings will catch up with your feet.
Here we go again. We just want to remind you that there is some plates on sale downstairs. We've got mac and cheese, and I don't know what's happening. Where am I? You are. And the Women's Bazaar will be selling until Wednesday.
Gosh,
so please do support the Women's Ministry Fund. I don't know where I am. I'm losing sight. Listen, Anthony Evans, honestly, you are anointed from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. Let's just take a minute and just say that. You've always been, and I've seen you in this incredible sort of journey. And I've got to say, you sound more plugged in, more on fire, more grounded, more clear than ever before. I don't know what's been doing the
work. But thank you very much. That means a lot.
Doing the work.
Yeah.
There it is.
Doing the work. Yeah. But thank you.
Well, you're most welcome. Let's talk about your album real quick. This Christmas gift, the Christmas gift. And I want to do something fun.
The greatest gift.
The greatest.
Yes. Because it's okay. Because people think it's the Christmas gift. It's the greatest gift.
It's the greatest gift. Yes, it is. And I have that here. It's the greatest gift. I'm just losing myself because you're preaching down the place. Anthony, the greatest gift. I got 3 tracks. I would love to hear just like kind of what you were thinking, where your head was at, where your heart was at. He is. I'm so curious. He is.
Yeah. I actually wrote that song. The birthplace of this album, as crazy as this is I have a production company you mentioned called Sherman James Productions, which I get to do a lot of live events and produce for TV and film. I got asked to produce songs and write songs for a Christmas movie, 2 BET Christmas movies. And I was in Christmas mode in January, but I'm sorry, it was like February because it was for the next Christmas. I was in Christmas mode and writing these songs and being, when it's a movie, you have to feel out a scene and make it feel. So it was like a church scene in a movie where we were singing about what the holidays are truly about. So me and a friend wrote He Is. And as I was finishing up these songs, I was like, Anthony, it's time to do a Christmas album. Like, you're in full Christmas mode for a BET movie. Like, you have a career where an audience would love to celebrate with you, like your audience would. So that is where He Is came from. But I wanted to remind everybody, we have beautiful things about Christmas that are cultural. But no, don't forget, He is the reason that we're celebrating. That's literally the first line of the chorus is like, yeah, enjoy the trees and the holly and the garland and the pumpkin bread or whatever you want to make. But he's the reason we're celebrating. It's just a fun reminder of.
I love that. And what about, I love this one, the My Holiday. Tell me about My Holiday.
Same little
same thing.
Story. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to write a feel good Christmas song that I wanted to kind of branch out. Now, some people will be mad at what I'm about to say, but I wanted something that could go beyond the church doors, but not
Yes.
compromise my faith. And so that's what I needed to write. So I wrote a song that is a reminder of like the people that we have. We have God's gifts in our lives. We have the people that we love. And that is my holiday. Like as you get older, presents don't become as important. Stuff doesn't become as important. You're like, do I have my health? Do I have my family? And I always have my God. Welcome to my holiday. That's literally what that song is. Like, that's what we're celebrating. So it is
I
just fun. To me, it's like, hopefully it becomes kind of a Christmas classic for some people. I love it. It's a fun song.
I I love it too. And guys, can I just say here before we move forward, the greatest gift, download it, play it nonstop. It is going to bless your family, bless your home, and help be the background for hopefully many, many memories to come.
Thank you.
Anthony, you're part of a well-known family, extremely well-known, strong ministry roots, deep roots in ministry. I've had the privilege, as I said, of talking with two of your siblings, with Jonathan, and Jonathan, almost a third of his conversation was about how you spoke into his life, just your role, his siblings pouring into him, shaping him. And I just wonder, what was growing up Evans like? How did it shape you for ministry? What were some of the ways that it developed you for this moment?
I think I didn't even realize that growing up Evans was any different. I thought it was normal to be sitting around the table with everybody freaking out and your parents trying to read Bible verses and have a quiet time with the family. I thought it was normal for family to be together like that. I didn't know that was like, no, Anthony, that's abnormal. And a lot of families don't do this. So I think what it was like was watching my parents just be consistent while we're crawling under the table, while they're trying to, give us a lesson on what the Lord means to us for the day. We were all, it was a wild house with 4 kids. But now when I look back, I feel like that was one of the most unique scenarios ever. And not because of our dad being Tony Evans and our mom being Lois Evans. It wasn't about that. It was the consistency of watching our parents do whatever it took to instill in us, one, that family is the most important thing. Ministries are come and go. Family is the most important thing. And when they instilled in us the principle of how the Lord should be anchoring our souls,
Ooh,
that it's like you return to a reflex. Some of us have seen the movie,
that's good.
The Karate Kid from a long time ago. There was a period in the movie where Daniel's son was painting fences and waxing cars and doing chores. And at one point he freaked out and was like, I am here to fight. And you have me painting fences and waxing cars. And then Mr. Miyagi throws a punch and he used that motion to block the punch. He had no idea that the mundane, repetitious things were actually a setup for him to fight well. That's what it was like growing up in my parents' house. They were repetitious with things that were annoying at times, but it trained us to fight well. And we've all fought in our ministries individually and in our ministries and our personal lives. We have reflexes because of their consistency.
I can't with you. You have reflexes because of the consistency of how they raised you. It gave you the muscle, it gave you the preparation, the heart, the mindset. I wonder, what would you say? What would be one of the number one things your sister Priscilla has taught you?
The power of no. The power of the word no.
She spoke about, I'm not lying, she spoke about that on this show last month.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's because
just went right off into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With every no, you're simultaneously saying a yes to something else. So when I say, and vice versa, when I say yes to every event that's ever offered me, I'm saying no to internal peace. I'm saying no to rest. I'm saying no to vocal health. I'm saying no to my spiritual life being good because I'm too busy. So Anthony, what are you saying when you say yes to that? What are you saying no to? Balance that out, and whichever one's greater, do that. And you'll be fine. There'll be another event for you to go sing at. You don't have to act like you're never going to get to sing again if you don't do this, or you'll never. That's not. And operating out of a scarcity mindset is also like it creates you doing too much. So that's been one of the biggest lessons. And I've watched her do it. My sister could literally be speaking somewhere every day of her life, but she'll say, No. And the reason why, and like one of the cases, she'll say no because you can find another speaker. My sons cannot find another mother. So I'm going to go to this basketball tournament, not speak at a stadium. And she will really, not with an attitude, she'll just be like, that's the reality. There's nobody else to cheer them on in the stands. From that perspective of their mother, there are 14 other speakers you could have at this event.
Wow. And I think that's such a timely message right now, especially because for whatever reason, we do lose sight of the real meaning of Christmas. We get way too busy. We drain ourselves, overextend, and saying no preserves our yes for what really matters.
Yes,
that's what I'm hearing from you.
100%. That's the biggest lesson she ever taught me.
I'm so thankful for you. Well, I've got just a couple of questions. Gosh, I feel like I'm winding down on time, but this one is just so important to me. There's two words that just cause tension every time you hear them, and everyone has a different visceral reaction, and that is Christian celebridom.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And I just wonder, because I've observed your life, how is it that with, the background you have, the family you have, the limelight, the platform, the opportunities, how do you stay so honestly, like grounded, clear, humble? How do you do that?
I have great people in my life. That's great friends and obviously great family. That's one of the reasons. And then also, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Like, when you don't own something, it's very hard to gloat in it and take when people are praising something that I don't view myself as owning. I view myself as being responsible for it, but I don't have ultimate authority over it. And there is a difference to me in mindset. When you're responsible for something, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it. But there's a difference where you're like, I don't have ultimately, this could have been somebody else's. The owner decided to lease this to me. So I'm not that mindset. And that's whether I'm doing a Christian concert or producing a song for whoever, you know what I mean? Like I could be doing something for ABC or Netflix. And it's still, my mindset is like, this is on loan. And that's different. There's a different mindset when the paperwork that doesn't have your name on it. It's his.
Anthony.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Y'all didn't see it. I did a full Pentecostal lap and came right back. It happened so quick. And just another one. Didn't see that one. Woo. Paperwork that doesn't have my name on it. You are your father's son. My goodness. Actually, no. It's something else. Do you? Am I missing it? Do you preach?
I speak. I speak in between songs a lot, but I don't preach like that because my attention span is very short. So I would, my sermons would be like 7 minutes. Like, everybody got it? Okay, good. Like, I need to do that because otherwise it's too much. But I am an illustrator. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I grew up in my parents' house. I thought speaking in analogies was normal. Like, I thought that's what people do, is everything has it's like, and you tell a story. Until I got to college, somebody I was dating, she said, "Why is everything a parable with you?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing." So, yeah, yeah. So
she's like, "I just wanted to know, are we going to dinner? Yes or no?"
And I'm like, sometimes it's like, this is too much. I gotta go. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, as we close, as we begin to wind down, it's just been a joy. I hope that you had a good time here, hanging out. I feel like you've been asked this question your whole life, but I also feel like based on what you've learned, what you've gone through, where you are, that the answer changes.
Yeah.
So in this season, in this version of Anthony Evans, when I say worship, what does that mean to you now?
Worship to me, it starts with putting down the idol of busyness. Like, that's first of all what I have to do in order to get myself and my heart into a worship perspective. And my busyness is Christian busyness, but that doesn't matter. So worship to me is getting still, which is honoring, like, if somebody clears their schedule to go to lunch with you or just spend time with you, the fact that they cleared their schedule is a start of like, wow, what an honor that you would clear your schedule to be with me. So I look at it that way because the Lord wants us in that way. And then it's also whatever I do, as trite as this may sound, doing it to the glory of God, in that this is on loan. It's like a beautiful, everything that we get to do is on loan. And if somebody loans you something that's very valuable, like breath, like like another day, you treat it you treat it different when you're honored that they would actually loan you that. And that to me is worship. When you kind of get to the root of like everything, it's not just a service and my hands lifted and singing some great songs. Worship is like, how am I going to handle the fact that he's loaned me some heartbeats for today? He's loaned me some air for today. He's
Come
loaned me a
on.
gift I can use in
Come on.
business. He's loaned me a gift I can use vocally. Like that is worship to me when you kind of view it that way. So every move you make, and it's not. I'm talking like I'm over here the Pope. No, I am not the spotless lamb. It's a lot of work, but it's starting with that mindset and then doing all you can and trusting that when you do what you can, God will do what you cannot.
Anthony, you've been such a joy and such an inspiration, but I wonder if I could get slightly personal, not too personal, but hopefully to a place of encouraging for some people. I always say this, that storms are our greatest teachers.
Mm-hmm.
The limelight is great, the applause is great, the mountaintops are great, but it's when we're in the valley that we grow, change, adjust, our moral character develops, we redefine what matters. All the best things happen at rock bottom. So I want to ask you, because I feel like you've been there and you are an ambassador of growth. I'm just looking at you. What did you learn in the rock bottom about Anthony? What did you learn about God in those back against the wall places that you could share? And what did you learn about the power of community or family?
What I learned about me, oh my goodness. So let's start with what I learned about God. What I learned about God is that he is faithful when we are faithless because he cannot deny himself. That verse has rung so true to me, like so true to me. I learned that there's a reason why, like I have friends of mine who have to look a certain way for roles, like they're auditioning for Superman and all these things, and they look a certain way. And in order to look that way, they go into an intense period of what we all call resistance training. Like resistance training is what turned them into a superhero and ready to go get the role that they've worked so hard for. And I believe that once I trust that God's faithful and trust that these hard scenarios are resistance training, and that training is to get me to the position where I'll be able to handle the role that he's prepared for me. So once I got my mindset right, and that narrative became the encompassing framework of which I look at challenges, that helped change the way I face the challenge when I looked at it as resistance training.
So good.
That's what I learned about God. That's what I learned about me, is that I need to change this narrative and trust him and know that I'm a feelings guy. I'm emotional all over the place. My feelings will catch up with my feet when I start walking in the direction of his truth, and my community keeping me in that mindset. Like it's almost like doing a group workout. Sometimes it's easier than being by yourself because you have people around you like cheering you on, like you can do this. And I think it gets easier once you start experiencing the faithfulness of God. Then it gets easier to step out the next time without having the end of the story told to you, because he has a track record of like, oh, he's going to do what he says. I know it. So what's next? That's kind of I think answered the three different parts of your question there.
I love that, Anthony. Thank you for that. And, I see that coming through on your social media. You're one of those people that I love, that you're not just like, sort of like, here's where I'm at, and like flexing, as they say, but you're like, hey, just got a thought, or hey, went through this, want to share this. Why does it matter to you to do that extra when it's not even called for?
Because I think it's almost a responsibility to me if you have a platform. Like if I was drowning and somebody threw me a life raft or threw me a buoy of some sort, and I figured out my way to safety or calmer waters, I couldn't imagine seeing somebody else flailing and being like, hope it goes well for you, stay encouraged. No, it's my responsibility to take that thing that got thrown to me and throw it to you. So I have experienced so many things that have helped me keep my head above life's emotional waters, or the grief waters, or whatever it is, sadness, anger waters, all that stuff. I'm like, here's some stuff that worked for me. I'm not saying you have to have it. You may have something else that you're holding on to right now, but I'm telling you, this principle that you can find in God's word and do it this way, that's what worked for me. So I just feel a responsibility to do that.
Well, on behalf of those that are so inspired and uplifted by your social media and all the things that you do forward facing, thank you. Cause there are some people that always have to show this sort of shiny, crystallized version of themselves, but you are someone that like you're broken open. You don't just like you use the pieces, you use the scars, you use everything, you pour it into your music. And you live out your lessons from a very authentic place. You're not afraid to say like, not like you said earlier, not so good here, not a spotless lamp. I love that about you.
Exactly.
Thank you for being authentic and please don't ever change that. I just hope that you stay the same in that area.
No, it would feel gross to change that. I would feel disingenuous. I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling like I'm putting on something because ultimately then you have to keep that up. That's exhausting.
I was just going to say the same thing.
It injures you more to have an injury and act not injured. Like if your ankle hurts and you're trying to run a race because you want to stay in the race and make everybody think you're amazing. No, you're going to injure yourself worse by trying to act like you don't have one. So I'm not playing with that no more.
Praise the Lord. The kids choir is going to be gathering on Fridays at 7 p.m. For the Christmas cantata. If you'd like, listen, I need to breathe. Here we go. Well, let's wind this up because you got me wound up. Anthony Evans, what is, you are just like, it's like fire. Just like blazing a trail as you go. My gosh, in this interview, this is so amazing what's happening. You're always working on something and big things, not little things. So what's on the horizon? Let's give you a minute just to kind of like get us excited. Any thoughts around 2025? Any projects you can tell us about or things that you're
excited about? I get to produce things with my friends and I really love it. So this Christmas, I actually get to produce 2 live in the room events, but also a streaming event with my brother Chandler Moore, who is one of the best ever. So we'll be doing an event called What Christmas Means live, December 12th. Anybody can live stream it. So if anybody watching wants to watch it, you can do that.
Nice.
So that's in the next few weeks. And then I have an album that I'm putting together of it's visual and audio. Obviously, it's called The Live Sessions, and it's basically my versions. A lot of my songs, some new, some old, but the live versions of them. I have my friend Miss Naomi Rain has jumped on a song with me, and so that'll be releasing in January. So that's in the immediate, and then me and my sister doing a tour together that I also am producing for May. So
come on, you just named all my favorite people, and we did have Naomi. Naomi was on here too during COVID. It was amazing. Yeah. Love the people that you're around. Love the group. Good, solid people. And I'm excited, guys. Let's look out for all those new things. Okay, well, we're down to the last kind of half question I was telling you about. It's a speed round.
Okay.
And Anthony, I've grown to love you more during this interview, but this may break our relationship if you get this one.
Tell me what is it?
Okay, here we go. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Okay, I just need to take a minute. You can, we're still good. Real Christmas tree or artificial tree, since we're talking about Christmas?
It depends, but I'd say artificial more than real.
Yes, my man. Okay, Christmas movies or Christmas music? What
Christmas
warms
music.
Yeah. Okay, now this is where wars are started. Here we go. Queens of Christmas. Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey?
Mariah, sorry. You said Queen of Christmas. Like that's different.
Okay. Let me take the Queen of Christmas off. Hold on. Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey?
Okay. Well, I have
Anthony Evans.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I have to say, and it is I'll tell you why I'm saying her. I'm going to say Mariah, and here's the reason why. Because the one thing Mariah can do that these other monsters, Celine, Whitney, these other monster singers, Mariah wrote every single one of her songs. That's different. If you can sing like that, like the Mariah we grew up with, and you can write by yourself, hit after hit after hit, that is different. Most people I know who can write like that can't sing like that, or vice versa, which is you'll see Whitney. I mean, there's no tone that's like a trumpet. Like it's like you're listening to a trumpet. But if as much as she can execute. Sorry, this is a whole thing for me because the vocal world,
Tell me.
as much as she can execute anything, sit everybody down and be like, okay, the last round, everybody's neck and neck. Or Whitney, you're beating by this much. Last round, everybody write a song.
Oh,
Mariah's going to sit down and write All I Want for Christmas Is You.
You just blew my mind.
It is what it is. Like, it is what it is.
Everything changes. Listen, everything changes from this moment on. You just blew my mind.
She
Absolutely.
wrote every single one of them. Every song that you know, she wrote it. That's different.
That is different. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Anthony, you are absolutely in the top 10 of my favorites now. 100% top 10 in 5 seasons. No, top 5. I just ousted. Yep. There you go. Top 5.
Thank you.
I will never forget this interview in the 5 seasons. It's been incredible. It was authentic. It was naturally funny. You are incredible. You are brilliant, effervescent, all the things.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much. I've had such a joy with you here. Every guest that I say goodbye to, I ask this last question, and the answer is completely different. It's just to finish this sentence. That's it. But it just blows my mind how, diverse and varied the answers are. So, Anthony Evans, finish the sentence. It's time for what? It's time for what?
It's time for culture to redefine what success is. And I say that because you can work yourself to the bone to be successful, but what you can't do after you've worked yourself to the bone and compromised your family and compromised your peace is go write a check to get all that back. So, peace should define your success, not acquiring more.
I woke up this morning and I knew this interview was going to be transformative. I just didn't know how much. Okay, I'm going to flip it on you because I have to. What is it not time for?
What is it not time for? It is not time for, I'm trying to think. It's not time for division. And I just say that because of all the things that we've gone through in our country in the last few weeks. It's not time for getting so focused on the minors that you forget the major. And that's kind of a blanket statement, but I think whether it's in church, everybody getting focused on nuances and that like lives aren't being altered anymore because we're worried about the color of the carpet and the thing that. It's not time for a loss of focus, I think.
I love it. Guys, please run, knock people over as you go. Get this album, The Greatest Gift. All the resources, all the connection on social media, I believe, is Anthony Evans Jr.
Yes.
Website, Instagram, everything.
Yes.
And track with this incredible man of God. He's doing big things, but his heart is even bigger. I had no idea. I had a feeling, but I had no idea how incredibly anointed and brilliant and deep you are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the path, sir.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you for listening to On the Path podcast with Cheryl Nembhard. Please like, download, and subscribe. This has been an Exousia Media production.